This is for my wife, so we got a complainer going down here right now. I'm gonna make sure this one's perfect. She doesn't want it too spicy, so we gotta make sure we have no seeds in there. The seeds are gonna make it really hot. So we'll take all those seeds out right now, and then we're just gonna put a couple in there so that she has nothing to complain about. This is so good for you. If you aren't getting some spicy stuff in you, you probably got parasites. Look it up. So the seeds within these things are great for harming anything that is inside of your tummy and body, right? The more you know, folks. Garlic, onion, and then there's all kinds of other things we're not gonna. You guys can heal your own bodies, right? Black seeds come in many varieties, but if you're really smart, you know that sativas are black seeds, right? So one of the oldest and most powerful is obviously what they keep from you guys the most, right? Now, that's because you guys choose to have zero backbone, right? That's where that happens. Now, remember, the corporations break the law, pay a tiny fine, and continue to do evil daily, right? It doesn't make it right, but you're worried about getting rich, and you're trying to do it legitly, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't. Of course, you should only do it legitly. That makes you'll have morals, and you'll go straight to wherever you want to go to. That in your mind, you know what I mean? Don't be all worded out with books that an old man has revised last year. You know, don't be fooled by what an old man has made you read in a book, claiming that it's everything when clearly it's nothing. Right? It's garbage. But if you're a simpleton, if you have like a small IQ that you think is big, if you have a big ego, you fall into these, it's like, if you're on a team, right? And somebody says, I'm the captain, right? Without you guys electing a captain, does that make that person a captain? Or is that person asking you guys if you accept him as a captain? Does that make sense to you? This is the only way I'm going to be able to explain this. When you walk into a church, is there already a figurehead that's been appointed at the front there? Or do you have a chance of being at the front? When you walk into the church, right? So you start at the bottom, right? So there's a hierarchy system that you can't question. And this is designed the same way a corporation is designed, the same way a fucking state is designed. But your failure to recognize this leads you down a path of low IQ behavior, okay? So remember that. You choose your own path. When you walk into the room, you've decided where you stand based off who you allow in your circle, right? If your circle's full of, this is why I've always said this, and I swear by this line. If you hang with the turkeys, you can't fucking soar with the eagles. Do you know what a turkey is? A low IQ. Do you know what low IQ people do? They commit murder, second-degree murder, and take out 5 people and spend 25 years in a cage. Low IQ people have not made it to the point of recognizing what matters, morally speaking, justly speaking, naturally speaking. If you think murder is natural, then you're messed up. That is an evil. We are conditioned through movies, television, magazines, newspapers, and the hierarchy system of the state, the religion aspect, and corporate aspect. You're almost groomed by each of those three to see where you fit in. If you battle them, if you have questions, if you're asking if they're not paying taxes, do you think you're ever going to get to the top to see what's behind that computer screen to see if they're fucking actually breaking the law? No. They only want people that are shifty. They're shifty eye behavior. They hide. They sneak conversations. Those are the ones that are looking to rank up. Okay? If you got something, if they want to know what you've done wrong, then they can use you. Then now you're a pawn on the board. Now you're playing the game. Well, they're playing you, actually, but this is a real thing. So remember this as you watch a real man put out one of the greatest shows that you'll ever see. All right. So many sad sacks out there. You do nothing all day. And then when you do something, you think what you're doing matters. Seriously, for real. Think about what you've done in the last 20 days that you're impacting change in this entire world. I'm not saying what I'm doing is definitely doing that, but I am making a difference one person at a time or 20,000 at a time. What are you doing? You're so good. You're so morally there. You get it, but you do nothing. So the only way you can have change is by talking about it, by acting proper. Morally speaking, acting is an influence that is stronger than anything. Monkey see, monkey do. And believe me, there's a lot of people that have a lower IQ than even an orangutan. In Winnipeg, in Fargo, in Mexico, in Mississippi, you name a place. Most of them they're bots. They're so low IQ, it hurts. I'm going to spoon this in. My wife she likes it a certain way. I like it with, I know how my wife likes it, so I'm going to spoon this in hers. And it's going to be tasty, but I've been making this dish for so long. I got to make sure I nail it. It smells good. This smells like so I didn't come up with this dish. It's very interesting. My best friend made this recipe for me on my birthday when I was, 15, 16. And then after that, this was once he moved into his house, which was at about 16 or 17. So maybe he made this for me before he moved out. So maybe in 95, he made this for me at his house. He still lived with his mom, but he owned his own vehicle. He paid rent, and he moved out after he was 18 or 19. Upon him moving out, he moved in with my other best friend, and they shared a house. Actually, my best friend owned the house. He was like 4 years older than him. He was 23 or 24. And he bought this. He bought a house. It was a 3-bedroom. It was a smaller home, maybe 900 square feet. But it was a nice property. It was a very nice property. Oh, I almost said something. And he moved there. So 95, I had this dish, or 96, I can't remember exactly. Around that, I was a teenager though. I was still in high school. This is how I remember. And oh man, I remember when I had this the first time, man. It was the big ass 13 by 9. This is a little square. This is a little thing. We had that big ass sheet pans, 13 by 9 or something. I'm not even sure, maybe 16 by 13. I don't know what he cooked it. I don't remember. It was his mom's pan, but oh my God. I ate like half the dish. He's like, "Are you full yet?" I'm like, no, man, I want another slice. He's like, "Oh, I was hoping to have some for tomorrow." I said, "Dude, it's my birthday." I'm like, "Give me another slice, bro." And he kept cutting me a slice. I'm like, "Have one with me." He's like, No, I'm full." The guy was fit, but he was way bigger than me. Way bigger than me. His brother was my wife's best friend's boyfriend. And and all at the same moment, all in the same breath, as I'm eating this dish, she's hanging out with the guy's, my other buddy. He's older than me, but my buddy's brother. And it's just hilarious. I don't know if they hung out too much, but they were, him and my brother's, I don't have a brother. My best friend, older brother, dated my wife's best friend. 1995, 96. I don't remember the exact year, but it was around that time. Maybe it was a little older, 98, 99. I can't remember, but I know it was happening, okay? And I remember meeting her. Like, I met her a bunch of times, actually, but I remember meeting her. And she was nice. Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. Talk about a small world. Like, you can't even make that. But also, I want to specify, I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of best friends. Hundreds. You don't know who I am, okay? But I'm a very cool guy. Very cool. And there's a high probability I wouldn't hang around with you just because you don't have morals, right? Like, I know the state of the world, and most people don't have morals. If you frequent brothels, we can't be friends. You understand? If you get hand jobs at massage parlors, I don't like you. You're gross, and I don't want your STDs. So stay back, stay away. I'm not giving any to my elderly mother, you freak. Disgusting. Now, that's actually a thing, guys. Believe it or not. Not in my world, but in lots of people's world. It's a thing. Isn't that disgusting? So, tread lightly out there, guys. There's lots of people you wouldn't even believe are creepier than, I don't know. Like, the level of creeper is what I expect from my dad. You know what I mean? Not hearing that from these other people, right? So, gross me out on a level like I can't even fathom right now. And this shit's going on in Winnipeg right now, so we're going to put an end to that real fast. If you know what I mean, boys. Pay close attention to my words tonight. Watch the entire show, rewatch it, and pay close attention. 3 days ago, 3, 4, or 5 days ago, I can't remember, but it's been a while now. There's a few good shows out there on several of my channels. And I know the right people will watch them. But I don't stand for stuff like that. You shouldn't either. Disgusting. Despicable. Grown-ass men violating women is something I will never stand for. And you shouldn't either. I'll see you next time, folks. Hashman